Hello, and welcome to Antioch's Fairfax Station Baptist Church God C.A.R.E.S podcast. My name is Trinity Story, your host. In this podcast series, we focus on how God cares about, including young adults, faithfully with a focus on the C.A.R.E.S mission. The C.A.R.E.S acronym defines us as a church that is charitable for C, adaptive for A, relational for R, evangelism for E, and S for serving. In today's episode, we're celebrating Black History Month as we were planning to release this podcast in February, but we know that Black History Month should be every month since it's a central part of our U.S. history. This episode is a great one because we actually have two amazing guests, Colonel Jim and his lovely wife, Sister Jean Jones, who have known each other since Jean was 7 and Colonel Jim was 9 years old. They are actively involved in the church and community, but not only that, they were a part of the historic civil rights movement of 1963. So let's learn a little bit more about our guests. Colonel Jones is a proud member of the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. He was born in 1941 during the time period of enforcement of the Jim Crow laws, which were evident as he was on the eastern shore of Maryland growing up. Career-wise, he served with excellence as a colonel in the Army and retired in 1995. He also received the esteemed Purple Heart Award. Joined by his side is his lovely wife, Sister Jean Jones. As mentioned, they have a long history with each other since childhood, which then continued in elementary school, going to the same college, and just general shared experiences. Sister Jean began her podcast education by attaining her undergraduate degree in 1965 at Morgan State University in Baltimore, Maryland. She later received her master's degree in counseling from Virginia Tech University. She is so proud to be a golden soror of the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. In December 2016, she and her husband were awarded the honorary Doctorate of Law degree from Morgan State University for her dedicated work in activism in the 1960s during the civil rights movement. For example, participating in sit-ins during the movement. Now you may be asking, what is a sit-in? A sit-in is a nonviolent form of direct action protest where participants occupy seats or spaces in businesses or public areas, refusing to leave until their demands, often desegregation, or social change are met. So today, we're not just talking about history, we're hearing from those who lived it. Thank you so much, Sister Jean and Colonel Jones, for joining this podcast today. Could you tell us a little bit more about your childhood experience and the foundation you were grown in and what segregation was like in your childhood?
Yes, I'll take that one, Jean. Thanks, Trinity. First of all, as you said, we are childhood sweethearts, not childhood sweethearts. We've known each other for over 75 years. And so we had shared experiences. We had the same teachers, the same preachers, the same friends. Yes. And during our childhood, we were restricted by the Jim Crow laws, which was separate but equal. We had segregated schools, segregated restaurants, movie theaters, water fountains, public bathrooms, swimming pools, churches, and libraries. We were also referred as colored children, and then we advanced to Negroes, then Black, and now I don't know what they call us, but that's that story.
People.
Yeah, people. But yes, that was our childhood under segregation.
Were you ever prohibited from having white friends?
No, we were not prohibited from having white friends, but we could not participate in day-to-day activities. We could play outside after school, but we were not allowed in their homes. Even though my mother was work for one of the families that we were in contact with, but we still could not go inside of their homes.
Right. So you had a friend, but you had to stay outside of the home to play.
Yes, and play.
Gotcha. So did you experience any bullying or discrimination growing up? I know you talked about, the general restricted, segregated schools, restaurants, but were there any other areas and perhaps any bullying that you've experienced?
Certainly discrimination and bullying in some of the things they said, such as they passed us walking to school and they were in their wonderful school buses they would holler through the window at us. You were white, you're all right. If you're brown, stick around. If you're black, make sure you stay back. And we heard them yelling at this as we rode to school almost every day. It got to be a fun thing for them, but not for us.
Right. How did those experiences shape you as a child and even growing up as an adult?
Well, I'll take that one. Like I said, it was 92 years of Jim Crow. Right after the Civil War, they had Reconstruction, and then after the Reconstruction, we had the Jim Crow era. And we were cautious, hoping things would change. At times, we felt less than, but if it made us better people. That experience just made us stronger, better, especially with the black teachers and living in a black community.
Right. So how did those early experiences and emotions, as I'm sure you felt a whirlwind of emotions, how did that carry and continue in college or adulthood? And if it didn't change, since you were at a historically black college and university, how did you handle those emotions, but knowing that you were at a black school and getting your education?
I think we were excited and anxious because we knew we were taking on a task that would change our lives forever.
Yeah, and what Jean just said, those experiences shaped us because, again, we've been in a black Jim Crow environment the whole time we were in college. It was up through college. I was 23 years old when they did the Voting Rights Act, so that's all we knew.
Yeah. Did reflecting on your childhood spark a certain courage in your heart and made you want to just continue the fortitude of seeking civil rights?
Well, we talked about the relieving the parents of our financial burden and allowed us to be in a familiar and comfortable environment where we went to college. From family and faith foundations, though, we focus on spiritual grounding and parental influence always.
Amen.
So that's where we always kept ourselves going by sticking that what we had learned from them.
Amen. How did your parents provide for you and model resilience, as you said?
Like I say, the power of prayer. I tell you, they prayed so hard for us all the time. And serious conversations about life. I had some conversations with my dad and my mom because they were afraid for us, and they knew we were embarking on something that was new, and they knew what had happened to other people in the community, and they didn't want us to fall into that category.
Yeah, let me just add, too, that
Sure.
It wasn't just our parents, it was our teachers and the elders in the community that shaped us. In other words, if we did something wrong in school, our parents knew about it, and normally if it was bad enough, I'm not going to say we got a whipping, but we were punished in some form. And so, again, it takes a community to raise a child. We had a community that raised us.
Right. So they were deeply religious, and you all followed that belief based upon what your parents believed.
That's right. I mean, it's every Sunday, going to church was not an option.
Right.
And, of course, school was not an option.
Right.
And so while in church, we had active roles. I was the church clerk at 12 years old.
Okay.
And Jean did everything in the church, sing, make the announcement, singing, and she's a very good speaker. So she would do a lot of the talking, the speaking parts.
Sure. So since you highly regarded your parents' opinions and wanted to be honest and wanted to be a good influence and a good follower in your family, even if your parents were concerned with your general safety, what made you want to get involved anyway? I know they were against this, your parents, Sister Jean. I'm not sure about your parents, Colonel Jim, but what made you kind of turn the page and say, you know what, they don't want me to do this, but I have to do what's right?
I prayed about it continually, not for long. Because they were waiting on all of us to come and to be a part of this from all the kids that were coming from high school or coming mainly from college. and we saw what folks had tried to do before us, and the training that they endured. So we felt emboldened and expected the path that we were traveling on as the right thing to do. So when we got to college, we knew we were in the right place because we were well trained. We went to the auditorium, and we went through some strict things that were going on that probably we could never talk about. But they put us through our paces, and those people who couldn't make it, they had to leave, because the minute you struck out or hit somebody who was in your face or pushed you and you pushed back, you were out. We didn't have a trial. You were gone. You had to sustain. You had to stay in your path. You had to know what you were doing.
Yeah, and also the press coverage. We saw what was going on down in the southern states. We saw Emmett Till, Rosa Parks, the fire hosing, the girls that were blown up in the church. And so we felt that was not right, and we felt that we had to take part in the demonstrations that were going on in Baltimore at the time, and we got involved that way. So we were not concerned about our safety.
And so that general awareness led you more to wanting to do what you had to do for the benefit of our nation and our Black population. Amen. Now we're going to get a little bit into the sit-ins and the direct action protests. I know this can be a touchy subject, so if you would like to refrain from saying anything or diving in, depending on our questions, I totally understand. But if you could just start with telling us, what did you personally see, feel, and experience during those sit-ins?
Well,
as I said earlier, though, we were aware, and that's part of the question you asked earlier. But and because of the folks that came before us, and what we learned from the press and what we saw in the news, we felt that we needed to go ahead and.
I think we felt emboldened, and accepted the path that we were traveling on as the right thing to do. And as we talked to the people after our training, because it was rough. They really put us through it, and so we walked together and we said, "Are we gonna stop?" And everybody said, "No, we're gonna keep going." And so that's how we linked arms and started going. The one thing that from the movie theater, I don't think we've gotten to that part yet, but we sang songs that really, or religious songs, or we would just encourage each other, put our arms around each other, and walk around in a circle. And those that were trying to say they were going to do something to somebody, they were out immediately, because we couldn't stand anybody to mess up what we had come so far.
That nonviolent protest.
The nonviolent.
Yes, that was hard. Essential, I'm sure.
Yeah, we did not want to give them any reason to charge us with a crime or to say that we were breaking the law. But although we were breaking the Jim Crow law, we weren't breaking God's law. Right.
I know you talked about Sister Jean. You love to sing. So was that a role that you had in the group, or was that more so on your own independent initiative to sing?
Well, I started it when Jim was picketing at the movie theater. And there, you walk around in that long line and you block the door so that no one can get in to get a thing. So we were singing at church, and it came up to me. I started singing, and I said, "So high, you can't get over it. So low, you can't get under it. So wide, you can't get around it. You might as well open that door." And when you've got 100 people out there walking in the circle in front of that door and singing that song, the people who were trying to get just backed up.
Yes.
And just let us do our thing.
Wow.
And then the guy who was selling the tickets would come out, and he would say all the foul things to us, and we'd sing only louder.
Right.
And so the next day, and Jim was in that particular one, and the next day they said that we could come.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, come. To the theater, and we did. We occupied every single
Gave them some
seat.
business, too.
We walked in. We didn't even give money. We just walked in. And what were they going to do for a whole theater full of us?
Yes.
So that's how
awesome.
It was. Yes.
Wow. So, you had the role of, or not only you, but I'm sure it was a group chant and a group initiative to encourage one others, because that's one of the main things that we used to do or not we, because I wasn't a part of it, but, singing songs that you felt inspired were from Jesus.
Yes.
That gave you strength. And although you did have this strength, of course, you're going to have retaliation from those who don't want you to have strength, particularly for some or most of the white population. So could you tell us a little bit about your sit-in experiences, if you all endured anything or saw others endure anything that you just had to, as you say, be peaceful about it, not react, anything like that?
The abuse that was one of the things that was really, really hard for us. But we were determined. And when you go with as many people that can occupy every seat in that restaurant, and we stand outside, and in a minute it opened, we rush right in and sit at the lunch counters, occupy every seat, in the restaurant, and sit there with our heads bowed. Don't look at them. We sat at the lunch counter. Don't look at them. Fold your arms. Keep your head down. And so then they were cursing and carrying on and pushing at us a little bit, and then the ketchup, the mustard, the flour, the sugar, the salt, the molasses, anything they had in the back, they would just pour it over us. And we had to sustain that. We had to just keep your head down. Don't let it go. And
we did that for a period of time, and then we'd get up and leave. And there was a signal that we wouldn't just sit there all day. We'll make a point, make a statement, and then go to another, whatever our assignment might have been.
Sure.
But one time when we did it, something happened.
Sure. Please explain.
They burst in again,
Okay.
and they did what they had to do for us.
Okay.
And we occupied at that time every seat in the restaurant.
Okay.
Because we were only at the lunch counter, right? Now we got everything's taken. So that's when we heard the sirens, and we were prepared for that, because we had wore big coats. Put your collar up around your neck, because they can pour things down your collar, right? And so we sat at every table and occupied that. And that's when they came in and tried to push us off the stools. And Jim was going to say something.
I said the blessing and all that. It was the early spring, so it was still cold. So we had our winter, still wearing our winter gear, and so that helped protect us too from some of the stuff they were pouring on us.
Gotcha.
Because they would come in at cigarettes, and they try to burn our the back of our necks.
So you guys would cover your necks.
They were covering.
And because you had big coats,
And then they push you to the floor, and sometimes they would kick you or whatever. But we knew how to protect our inner body. We were balled up like a knot.
Yes.
And so after a while, then we heard the sirens.
Right.
And we knew it was our time. They were coming for us.
Wow.
So that's when they took us all, put us all in the paddy wagon, they called it,
Yes.
and went to jail.
Okay.
Wow. Wow. So I know both of you all were jailed, correct?
Yes.
I know you were jailed, Sister Jean, for 3 days. What was that experience like for you?
Well, you go in and you see all the people that you know, really, or people that have joined us. So it kind of kept us where we needed to be.
Sure.
So we were showered, and we were given uniforms, the gray uniforms.
Sure.
That's what got to me. 'Cause, I'm in jail and I'm wearing this gray uniform.
And did your parents know?
Oh, no. No. That would have been worse.
Sure.
Because they knew. But it was very frightening. Fear of the unknown, and mainly loneliness.
Yes.
And so this is what we would do. We'd always sing. Ain't gonna let no jailhouse turn me round. Turn me round. Turn me round, ain't gonna let no jailhouse turn me round. We gonna keep on walking. keep on a-talking all the way to freedom land. And so we would just sing till we couldn't sing anymore. They said, Lord, get those people out of here.
They have too much joy. Get them out of here.
Oh, Lord. But we stayed in jail for 3 days.
Okay.
Going on 4, yes.
My experience was a little bit different.
Okay.
Entrance is all the same. You come in, they take all your clothes and give you their clothes and make you take a shower and they check all the holes in the ears and they do all that kind of stuff. And like Jean said, they fear the unknown. We did not know we were going to be there 1 day, 1 hour, whole week, rest of our lives. We just did not know.
Just didn't know.
And so we didn't think about this part,
Right.
But meantime, there were over 400 students jailed that day.
Wow.
And that was sort of the camel that broke the straw that broke the camel's back. And that after that sit-in and jail, that's when everything opened up.
Okay.
Everybody said, we've had enough. Let's let these people in here. And we completed our mission, and our records were expunged.
Yes.
The governor did away with everything. So we do not have a jail record.
Right.
And I think, did you say the teachers? Some of the teachers.
For the women. For the women. Some of the teachers, in fact, the faculty made sure they stayed up their homework for those 3 days.
Okay.
Yes, they brought it in. We had to do our work.
Wow.
But most other thing was it was amazing when you look out on the line, because you're only dealing with yourself at that time. When you look out and you see the university students from all over, the white students were there. They came. They stood with us at the very end. It was bonding with those students from those other colleges and universities, mostly white, became our friends in a way.
Right.
So God is good.
Those white schools stepped up.
They sure
and
did.
And because there were larger and more of them, there were more of them than us.
Wow.
And they had it worse than we did because
they had to get it from both sides sometimes.
They had to fight their own relatives for why you helping those black people.
Yeah. They supported you all.
Oh yeah.
Wow. That's great. So were you jailed by chance more than once, or was that your single experience?
That was my single time.
Okay.
It was either my mom or the jail, and I had to listen to my mom. Said, don't you go back again? Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Well, again, there were a lot of threats of jail, but this is the first time they did it. And they did it, and then I guess it caused such a ruckus in the community and in Baltimore that's when they ended, because they didn't want us students going to jail. They didn't want to have to deal with that.
Sure. Sure.
And the merchants were happy too. I mean, the merchants were. I think most of them would like to had us in there, but the community wasn't ready for it. But once we started getting larger in numbers, that's when they took us to jail, and that's when they shed the light on it. They said, hey, let's go ahead and let these folks in.
Sure.
And our records were expunged. They took all that off, which was
they eliminated your criminal record. Great. So, you all still are brave individuals during your college career, and we all know that even though the Civil Rights Act was passed by Congress and the Voting Rights Act was passed by Congress, we still had a long way to go in terms of getting the equality that we deserved as Black Americans, or that you deserved as Black Americans. So you all both have had great careers, a great life, having those shared experience together that you can reflect on. So after the graduation, I know Sister Jean graduated in 1965, is that correct? And Colonel Jones, you graduated in...
It should have been 63, but I had a break in my education.
Sure. Okay. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, 1963, and she did 65, yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. So after graduation from school, how did God make a way for you to be heard and promoted in all that you did?
God did not give us a spirit of fear, but a love and a power and a strong mind. And Jean, that's one of Jean's quotes.
That's me. It was through prayer, I think, home training and education.
Yeah.
We did not have an option. We learned early on that honesty was the best policy. And again, it was grace, God's grace.
when I look back over my life and see how God has blessed me, I know that I'm one of God's favorites. I mean, He's blessed me in so many ways that He smiles on me every day, so He likes me, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, we're trying to get to your level.
That's right. Every day, fear no evil.
Yes,
but He's with me.
Yeah.
As leaders, in the civil rights movement, we became more aware, and as Jim just probably said this, better listeners,
right,
more patient, and open to suggestions.
Right.
As an educator, I gave my students the opportunity to express themselves in a manner that is open and mainly listened to. Sometimes we don't listen to our children.
Yes.
And that's the one thing I've learned from my children and now my grandchildren.
Right.
Yes.
Wow.
And just to the young folks in general, listen to the young folks. I mean, they have a lot of great ideas. Sometimes we want to, say, what do you know? But no, they know a lot.
Oh, thank you for saying that. That means a lot. That means a lot.
Especially your generation. I mean, you got to listen to you guys. You guys are our leaders.
Sure.
In the future.
And we learn from you all, and then we can carry the torch.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Definitely. How would you, getting a little bit more personal, how would you describe your leadership style, in your career?
As leaders right here.
Well, my leadership style is inclusive. Include everybody, as we just said. Everybody's got some kind of idea, and listen to their ideas. And you present your environment where they can and not be punished by what they say or do.
Sure.
If it's something that's going to make the organization better.
Sure. Right.
So inclusiveness is the key word.
Sure. And would you say you all both flourished due to, like you said, your education, your background, but also now you had peers, you had friends, those that you can express your emotions or what you're going through with, keeping in touch with those who did the protests with you. Was any of that, or did any of that occur after your involvement with the civil rights movement?
I think we did.
Yeah.
We saw some of the students that were in our hometown, as a matter of fact, because we were very segregated, and it was opened up to us, which was what we had prayed for and hoped for. And now we're friends. We go home and we see them. And I remember when one of my friends went behind her mom's back and got me a book when we were growing up out of the library, because I couldn't go to the library. So they were the kind of things, and we've always bonded, and we see them now.
Yeah, in the community, the kids, we had no problem with each other. They rode a bus. We were separate buses, but as soon as we got home, we played ball together. We just walked, just hang out together, so to speak. But it was not in a place where, like a public place. It was just in their yard or our yard or on the baseball field or the baseball or the basketball court.
Sure. I heard you're pretty good with basketball.
Well, one time.
I never will forget him. He raised his leg when he was on a hit. So where's the leg thing coming from? But it helped.
The ball went through the basket.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I know we're going to close here shortly, but due to all your hard work and due to your faith in God, in 1964, you all were victorious with Congress passing the Civil Rights Act, followed by 1965 Congress passing the Voting Rights Act. So God made a way, and it was through your obedience of God that, you're able to see a different environment after the act, but also right now, as we're trying to currently just keep it going and keep civil rights to the forefront and not forget how far we've come. So it's amazing. You both were awarded the Doctors of Law degree from Morgan State University from your participation in the civil rights movement. And that award was actually presented to you all by the late Jesse Jackson.
Yes.
Rest his soul.
Yes.
So that's an amazing experience. And just as a general message, what would you give to young adults today in terms of what they should be doing to stay acclimated to the culture and to move forward with fortitude?
Stay focused, number one. Learn your history.
Yes, ma'am.
Number two. Be open to constructive criticism.
Yes, ma'am.
Do not be afraid, and fight for what you know is right.
Let me add something here, too, before we do. Is to take a valiant and courageous stand for justice and equality. And then we can say this together.
Ready? Vote. Vote. Vote.
Yes, vote, vote, vote. So important.
Yes.
So important. Well, thank you all both for being with us today. This has been a wealth of knowledge, and I'm so excited for the church body to hear this and to learn from you all. So thank you for sacrificing your time, and we're just going to continue to reflect on our past and let every month be Black History Month, because what you did back then is affecting every day and every month we have now.